3 very good games like that, very solid ball games. You know, and it's nice to see for Darryl because you know, he's had so many problems over the course of the years, and it's nice to see him go out there and feel as strong this many consecutive games. He pitched very well.
And he kind of got things started offensively.
Yes, he did. You know, that's it. He hit a home run, big home run to win a ball game. Not to win it, but it was a big home run at that time. Earlier, also, he swings the bat okay. He's, you know, I've got several pitchers that swing the bat fairly well. I'm not afraid to let them stay in there and swing.
Yeah, a lot of people probably were surprised that you let him stay in there.
Well, I'm a player short. I'm actually a player and a half short, so I have to be very prudent with how I use people. And to lead off the inning, I did not want to do that, and I knew he's a good athlete. He runs well, you know, so that's why. I don't have the luxury like in the big leagues where they fill their rosters full all the time.
And then the slide was a little bit
scary.
Yeah.
I'll put that word right there, scary.
But he scored there, and then on the hit, and then the next guy hits a home run, 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is not only did Darryl, he read the ball off the bat, and that's the toughest thing, especially for pitchers, because they don't see it a lot. But he read base hit immediately off the bat, and that's good instincts. He's a good athlete. You don't say that about all pitchers.
And really, the bullpen had, I think they said 14 in the third scoreless innings until tonight.
Yeah, the bullpen, you know, we've kind of changed it around. The bullpen's done a nice job. They're getting themselves pretty much, you know, where we want them to be.
And taking Thompson out there after 7. Was it just pitch count?
Oh yeah, he was done. I knew before he started the inning. In fact, you know, I had a guy up. If one guy had gotten on in the 7th, I was going to get him out of there. He really pitched well, and I pushed him right to the wall. I'm a little short pitching wise, so I have to get everything I can out of every guy.
So, Carroll, tomorrow you want to, I guess, get a lot out of him.
Well, yeah, I try to get as much as I can. He's a good sinker ball. Well. He's pitched well. Good sinker ball pitcher. Throws a lot of strikes. He should do well.
Last homestand wasn't great. This one's better.
Yeah, you know, we went through a little bit of a spell where we just, you know, we hung around 500, maybe even a couple games under. Just played okay. We kind of played lethargic there for a while, but I think we're back on track a little bit. You know, it actually helps send guys to the big leagues. You know, when we haven't had a lot of position player movement. When I get to send guys to the big leagues, I like it. It excites me because I know it gets their adrenaline going in there. They start thinking, all right, now they're starting to make some moves. I want to be next, and bang, their focus is better. We've had a lot of pitching moves, but we haven't had position player moves, and I like having moves. I like sending guys to the big leagues because then it gets the adrenaline going with the other guys.
Thanks.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
When do you have an idea when Giannis Volquez get here?
I do not. Actually, I know. I talked to Giannis today. He called me from the airport today. Yanni and I are. I mean, he played for me. Yeah. Yanni and I are pretty close. I do not know. We talked. He might be here tomorrow. It just depends on how his flight goes today. He flew back to Cincinnati, so we'll see. I'll see him in the next day or two. Volquez, I have not heard. I have not talked to Volky, so I haven't talked to anybody in Cincinnati, so I don't know. But Giannis called me immediately, and we'll see where he's at.
So he was in Milwaukee with the team.
He was at the airport getting on a flight back to Cincinnati.
So he had gone to Milwaukee.
Well, they told him today, so
he was already there.
That's why I don't know. You know, he talked about possibly coming tomorrow, but you know they have 3 days. And sometimes, you know, they need a day or two to clear their heads. Sometimes they just need to get their butt to work. And, you know, Yanni's a gamer. Whatever decision Yanni makes, I will back. I don't feel strongly either way for him. You know, I know he's ready to go to work and get himself, and I'm excited to have him back. Smokey and I have already talked about some ideas and plans. And, you know, he's a good baseball player. Sometimes being up there, Leak came back and said the same thing. When he went back up, it was like it cleared his head. It was like, a breath of fresh air. You can kind of get yourself back to baseball instead of worrying about all the extra stuff going on. I mean, the fans and you guys, and the pressure and who's going next, and it's hard on young kids. And you get down here and we don't have that. And if there is any, I make sure I keep it away from them, so they can just focus on baseball. And Volquez did the same thing. Volquez came back, pitched really well last time. Worked hard, and smile on his face, and we're going to do the same thing with both of them. Get them ready, and when they need them again up there, we'll have them ready to go back.
Guys like Mesoraco and Alonso, Frazier, they've been, obviously knocking on the door.
I've got 8, 9, 10 guys. I mean, Hermida's my best player. Jeremy has been absolutely, bar none, the best offensive player I've had, period. Day in and day out, the most quality hitter, and defensively he's been very, very good. Sapelt is just coming back from the injury, and he's been inconsistent, but he's starting to get his game back together. Alonso's been solid, playing a new position. Frazier's been up. Francisco's hurt. Mesoraco's been outstanding. Fisher's been back 2 or 3 times. He's back up there. He's pitched well. So, we've got a lot of guys ready for them if they need them.
And how is Mesoraco's development? He's come a long way.
He's come a long way. Yeah, last year was his big year. It was like everything, he worked hard and everything was just kind of there. Last year everything clicked for him and he went right through our organization. Now he started out the year here and done a nice job. Really improved a lot. His pitch calling and handling of the game has really, really improved. We had a little glitch tonight, but that's all right. He learns from those glitches, and that's what it's all about. You got to learn from not mistakes, but learn from the experience. And actually, it doesn't start until you get to AAA, I think, because there's so many veteran guys here, and these older veteran guys here, they'll abuse young guys that don't have the experience, especially pitchers, and learning to call. He's done a good job with Dontrell, a veteran guy. Justin Lear, a guy that has a lot of pitches. Those guys are tough to catch, and because they have so many pitches and so many options, and he's done a good job learning all those options.
One more thing. How has Alonso been out in left field? He seems like, from what I've heard, I don't think he has any errors for one thing.
No.
How's he looked there?
Well, his jumps and routes are good. He just doesn't have a lot of range. I mean, it's that simple. His jumps and routes are solid. But, his speed's well below average, and he's not going to get to a lot of balls. But he's good. He actually, for his ability, he's solid, but he just lacks that one, that speed that would, that you like to have out there. Yeah. But he's done a good job. He's thrown people out. He's charged well. I've been really impressed with his instincts as far as his jumps and routes to balls. He hasn't taken many bad routes, and I've experienced a lot of guys in the outfield, infielders that we've put in the outfield. He's been better than most. Okay.
I appreciate your time.
You got it. Nice talking to you.
You too.
All right.
Hope to see you again.
Well, I hope
somewhere.
So. I hope it's where you don't have to travel to me, where I travel to you. How about that?
Thanks.
Thanks, Smokey.
Rick, just real quick, you said,
Come over here.
Okay. You said you like when guys get promoted.
Absolutely.
And, a lot of people have been calling for Cozart up in Cincinnati. Just talk a little bit about, that feeling for him and for you.
Well, I called him at about 2 o'clock in the morning. And actually, he answered the phone and he was awake. I could, you can tell when a guy's awake. And I said, he goes, "What's up, Skip?" Which, is what he calls me. And I said, "Well, this is a bed check. I'm doing a curfew check. Are you home?" And he started laughing. He goes, "Yeah, I'm home." I said, "Well, I'm just checking on you to make sure." And he goes, "At 2 o'clock in the morning?" I said, "Well, you won't be calling me Skip anymore." I said, "You got a new skipper." I said, "You're going to the big leagues." And I get the same reaction. It's like, these guys think I'm going to call him at 2 o'clock in the morning and play a joke on him. He goes, "You're kidding." He goes, "Come on, you're kidding, right?" I mean, they just can't believe it. That first time is incredible. It's a great feeling.
How gratifying is that for you?
That's what it's all about. It's what makes my job. I mean, you see my wall. Most of these guys on my wall here are guys that I got to send up for their first time in the big league. Some of them are all-stars up there right now. You know, I've had the pleasure and the honor of playing and coaching in the big leagues, and if I don't ever get to go back, it's very gratifying to send these guys up. A guy like Cozart, quality guy. I see Horst walking by, Jeremy Horst. You know, I mean, that's just an unbelievable feeling for me.
Talk about the honor of getting to coach in the Futures game.
You know what? When they called me, I kind of laughed at first. You know, I'm 58 years old and I'm going to the Futures game. I mean, that's kind of you wonder about that. But I'm very honored to go, very excited to go. I love stuff like this. I've got to do, I think, 4 All-Star games. It's an honor to get to meet all these young prospects and get to go be part of something like this. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be exciting.
You guys are rolling a little bit, 4 in a row. Can you attribute that to anything, or the hit's just falling now?
No, I think it's just, you know, we know we're a pretty good team, and we went through a spell where we didn't go out and play like we felt about ourselves, and you just got to kick yourself in the butt a little bit. Things didn't go right for us a few times, but you got to overcome that, and we've started doing that. The guys are going out and battling well.